Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Carmen Bryan. Welcome back to Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everyone that sends comments. And thank you guys so much for allowing me to assist you even through coaching. So today, as you guys know, we've been going through a series of teachings concerning the dysfunctional narcissistic family. And remember, I said previously that the construct or the idea of this, the family dynamics comes from the alcoholic families. It was modeled after the alcoholic families, where each person within that family plays a role to sustain the kind of momentum of this dysfunctional family. Everyone has a role that they play that the narcissist assigns to them. And so yesterday, which today is August the 12th. So yesterday, the last thing we were doing a recap. So I've talked about the golden child. I've talked about the scapegoat. I talked about the lost child, the mascot. And yesterday I spoke about the helper or the surrogate parent. And so just a quick recap on that, the surrogate parent or the helper is the person, the child in the family that is normally the codependent enabler in training. This is the person that helps, to parent. You become a parent even to the parents, even to the dysfunctional, immature parents and the enabler and the narcissist. Every child in the family kind of looks at you as the surrogate parent, the one that protects, the one that makes sure the children get food and whatever they can do to make sure that there's some kind of balance or help for these children, and they're the ones that usually make the family look good on the outside because they're the ones that maintain the image of the family but protects and takes care of the children. And so the pressure on this helper surrogate parent is a lot because a lot of times these children are not allowed to live their childhood. A lot of times they miss out on their childhood because they were parentified, and the parents parentify them where they actually begin to have conversations with or talk to these children as if they're on the equal level playing field as the narcissist or the enabler. Usually the narcissist puts them on the same playing field, so they handle them as if they're adults and their minds have grown or registered, or their life experience has registered where they are. That narcissist really tears up people within that family. The family, everybody leaves out with scars in their heart, scars in their relationship, and oftentimes, the surrogate parent leaves out and recreates the same family type or gets involved with the same type of person that they left out of, and they recreate that whole family dynamics again. They're usually really rigid, very disciplinarian, harsh disciplinarians, but they're these are ones that they're overachievers when it comes to business and so it's very rigid in their life. So a lot of them have a lot of issues, and like I said, each individual child, if you look at each role that is played, you can see how narcissistic personality disorder can emerge, or even borderline personality or any other personality disorder. But you can see how narcissistic personality disorder can emerge because just because a person has not been directly abused, but children watching the abuse in the family are traumatized. They're being traumatized. They're too young to understand. They're not able to manage stress the way that we're able to manage stress as an adult. And if you as an adult are having problems in managing stress and you are traumatized from the things that have happened or these things you experience, imagine the young children who have been traumatized. They can't handle stress like you can. That's why a lot of children do commit suicide. They don't know how to articulate. Most kids, and it comes out in their behavior. So today I wanted to talk about the enabler. This is usually the primary supply in the narcissistic family, and they're usually an enabler and codependent. Now, an enabler and a codependent can also be the parents, because I've seen a lot of mothers or fathers who are also an enabler or codependent on that narcissistic son that is married to an enabler and a primary supply. Now, the responsibility of this enabler is they're going to basically what they do is they maintain all the roles within the family. They make sure that everybody plays the roles within the family. They're usually the one that side with the narcissist because they deeply desire to be loved, affirmed, so they'll do whatever that narcissist wants them to do, even sacrificing their own child, oftentimes watching the abuse happen and feeling helpless, not knowing what to do. They do whatever they can to clean up the narcissist's mess. They do whatever they can to make sure that narcissist looks good or carry on the lie of that narcissist in public. They make sure that they are what the narcissist says. You're supposed to be a team player and you're supposed to be one with me. Even if I lie, you're supposed to be my ride or die. So that enabler feels obligated to make sure that in the light, and oftentimes they're embarrassed too, to make sure that they do whatever they can to make sure no one knows what's going on within the four walls of that house with that narcissist. They'll lie with the narcissist. They'll fight on behalf of the narcissist. Whatever they do, if that narcissist is attacking, like for example, attacking the old supply who may have children or have custody of the children. So whatever way they attack, they tell stories to this enabler, and that enabler basically becomes a flying monkey. And we'll talk about that flying monkey. And they'll do whatever they can to fight alongside with this narcissist because they want to gain the respect, the love, and whatever compassion or affection they can get from that narcissist. Anytime that enabler falls out of line, what they'll do, remember I was talking about the operant conditioning, the positive and negative reinforcements. And so anytime that enabler falls out of line or that narcissist is embarrassed or something happens, they will blame the spouse, the partner, whoever the spouse partner is, that primary supply, the enabler, the codependent. And so that codependent, that enabler has to clean it up. And now they're fighting to win the affection back. So what that narcissist will do is punish the enabler because they may have stood up for themselves. Maybe they didn't agree. Maybe they made the narcissist look bad or got angry and told people or anything, and they fell out of compliance. So that narcissist will punish them. So they will punish them in order to stop the behavior that they want to stop. They give them they may ghost them. They may silent treatment them. They may take away affection, love, sex, food, money, whatever it is that they take away to punish, or they may begin to abuse the other children because of that enabler. And so that enabler may not be able to handle the abuse that they see on their children. So they take it back upon themselves and go ahead and agree and comply to everything that narcissist wants them to do. And so what the narcissist will do, and that's what the trauma bonding is, what the narcissist will do is reward them with affection, flowers, money, time, taking them to the movies, taking them out to eat, paying attention, spending a little extra time with them. Maybe a Friday, they spend a little extra time with them. Whatever it is that codependent or that enabler desires or craves is what the narcissist will reward them with for their loyalty. And so you see how enmeshed they become, because basically that enabler, that all of them really, the whole family, but in today it's the enabler, the codependent, the primary supply is trauma bonded to that narcissist. Even when it comes to family, you have family, you have parents, and that the narcissist will cuss out, tear up their house, whatever. If they want something, they want money. They may not even have a job. They want money, or they want a particular sports car, or they want something, and everyone is like, get a job and get it yourself. They feel entitled that you as my parent, you owe me because I had a horrible childhood. You owe me because so the parents feel obligated to make sure that they jump and do whatever that narcissist wants them to do, to a point where they're drained. A lot of times they will push that narcissist off on a new supply. And the way that they maintain, the sad part is the way they maintain that big entanglement is to even make that new supply, that the spouse or the enabler that is with them, make them feel bad about not maintaining that narcissist happiness. You should do this. You need to stop arguing so much. You need to this. If you just do this, because a lot of times the parents don't want that narcissist in the home, so they will become a flying monkey alongside, will become a flying monkey to the narcissist to maintain that dysfunctional family setting, even though they see what that narcissist is doing, even though they see that narcissist is abusive or abusing the children. They don't want to tolerate that drama or that, that Tasmanian devil in their house tearing up their stuff or making them feel bad because they can't get money. And some of these narcissists, especially like the overt ones that have no self-control, are vicious. They'll tear down your house. They'll tear down your cars. They'll burn your house. They'll cuss you out in public. And these are the children talking to the parents. And so a lot of time the parents can't handle it. The parents are sick. And so they are more relieved when they can get a person to connect with them, like the spouse, and so they do whatever they can to perpetrate that. So they become an enabler, and they're an enabler to the narcissist and an enabler and a codependent perpetuating this cycle of abuse within the family, knowing that they see what's going on and oftentimes won't say anything. And then you are horrified or you're angry with them because they see what's going on, but they still blame you as the enabler. They blame you for what is going on. So when you start speaking up as an enabler, you will get abused. And a lot of times you're leaving out, and you guys are horrified at the fact that the family that you thought loved you actually is a flying monkey to the narcissist. Tell them everything about you in order to win the affection of their own children. Tell them everything, whatever that they say, whatever lie that they told, they perpetuate that lie and make you feel horrible. Even though you know for a fact that you were being abused, you become confused. It's that narcissistic fog, that narcissistic fog that has been spewed. You can't, the mist, that narcissistic mist, where you can't even think straight because now you really think you've been gaslighted so much, not only by the narcissist, but even by the family and friends, or in particular, the parents that are codependent. You have been the flying monkeys. You have been you're confused, and you have been so gaslighted that you really think that you're doing wrong by standing up for yourself and speaking up for yourself. So this is the enabler. A lot of times when they come to terms with what is happening, and then most people assume that this new supply or the primary supply, the primary good supply, you think that is so all well and good, and is not. They're the ones that are abused the most. The enablers and codependents are abused the most. And oftentimes, people look at them like, I can't believe you didn't defend your children, but you don't know the dynamics behind closed doors. You don't know what kind of trauma or how they have really been held hostage in their own house. How these children are abused, how the enabler is abused. If you don't comply, I will go attack, your children. And then that enabler has to comply. And number one, they may not have anywhere to go, especially during these COVID times. A lot of enablers and codependents, they have nowhere to go. They can't afford, they may have a lot of children, or they cannot afford, they have been stripped of their jobs, lost their jobs. Narcissists wouldn't allow them to work. They became the main supporter in the family. They've lost their jobs, so they're stuck in the house with this vile individual that is abusive, and the atmosphere is just laced with abuse and words and physical abuse and anything that you can think of. But these people have nowhere to go. They have no shelter to go to. They have no support system. They have, some of the shelters weren't accepting people, and then what can you say when it's psychological abuse and not physical abuse? And that's why it's very important. Go back and watch the video from Friday where Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper, had a platform with myself, my friend Bridget Griffin, and Mavis Washington, where we were discussing domestic violence. And Ms. Bridget Griffin is a legal advocate within the YWCA, and she discussed the different facets or the different means of being able to get assistance in these times. But we discussed that. Go back and watch that video. It is on my Facebook page, and you'll see it's a Zoom. It was on Zoom. And it was hosted by Apostle Helen Sadler, or Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper, Into His Chambers Ministries. You'll see it on there. But, a lot of times they don't have anywhere to go. And so people beat them up and make them feel bad because you should have left. You had kids, and I wouldn't have done that. And I know if somebody's attacking my kids, and you wouldn't know what to do if you're in a situation like that. So stop judging them because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, because you could leave. But have you ever been in a situation like them? I've been in one like that, and I took my kids and I left. My children are better. Yeah, we understand that. Our children are better than that. But you have no idea how much a person has been abused and brainwashed and trauma bonded to this individual. They have nowhere to go, and they're afraid whatever that narcissist has told them, I'm going to take you to immigration and have you deported, and you'll never see your children again. You see what's going on in the world. Your children are going to be in cages too, or I'll have them take your immigration status, or you're going to lose your kids, and you being a homeless parent, you're not going to be able to, and CPS is going to come get your kids, and I'm going to make sure I call. So you don't know what, life or death situation or trauma this parent is experiencing at the fear of losing their children, knowing that they don't want these children to be with this narcissist, and so they have to play nice in order to protect their own children and make sure that their children stay with them. In their mind, they might be thinking, I'm just going to wait until my children are old enough to leave for themselves, then I leave, because they don't want to lose their children. And they know sometimes you have people that have wealth that can take them through court and harass them in the court system, where they will never, that parental alienation, they would never see their children again. And so you cannot judge a woman or even a man at what decisions they make on behalf of their children. Some of them do need to leave, and they do need to know that there's an answer out there to protect them and their children. But some of these narcissists are so vicious, they go into the courtroom and they flip the whole situation around to make it seem as if the parent, that the loving parent, is the abusive parent. They make them go off, and then they record them going on a tangent, but no one knows that right before they hit the record button, they had just been beaten or abused, or the children have been abused. They always catch what they want, it's like a photo. It catch the image that they want to catch in order to flip it and use it whatever way. And there are many people that have lost their children in the courts knowing that they're perfectly innocent, knowing that they didn't do anything but protect themselves. Even if it was to cut, they cut or shot at the narcissist, now they're deemed the dangerous parent, the one, or they file a no contact order. The narcissist has more money and files a no contact order, making it look as if, and then for a parent to lose their child, a lot of these parents go crazy. So by the time the police see them or people see them, they think that something is wrong with them. See, I told you they were crazy. A parent that loses her kids or loses his kids, they may go crazy because they have never been without their children, and they're panicking and they're having panic attacks. And so this stuff is serious. Don't ever look at someone and tell them what you think they should have done. Nobody wants to know your opinion. Shut your mouth and stop talking so much, and let these people get some healing and strategy on how to get out of this situation, because you don't know what's going on behind those closed doors. You don't know how the narcissist threatened them, or what secrets they have, or what they're going to use, or how much power this narcissist has in community or in the judicial system, or with friends and family that perpetrate this abuse. And so a lot of parents and people and friends are the perpetrators of this ongoing cycle of abuse in the homes, where some people cannot escape and they're held hostage in their own homes. Some of these people commit suicide. Some of them not only commit suicide but kill the entire family, because if I can't have them, you can't either. I'll kill everybody. Or even parents so desperate that I'll kill my children and myself so that you can't affect my children or hurt my children again. People don't know how illogical people can get when they are under pressure. You don't know how crazy a person can get when they've been so abused. And some of these people are sitting in prison and they're innocent. I'm not saying that they were right for killing the person, but they kill someone to protect their children and make sure that the children will never be hurt again. So stop judging these people and stop giving people your unprofessional opinion about what is happening. That right there just gets under my skin. I hate when people come in and tell me that. That just make me want to go out and just fight, because you don't know what these people have been, through. And so the enablers, yes, when they break free, they break free. And a lot of them is having a hard time breaking free. They don't have the resources. They don't have the finances. They don't have the legal assistance. They don't have the money to go through the legal system. And so they're trying to come up with a way and find resources, but it's scary and it's hard. Especially you've never been away from your kids and you having somebody threatened because they know, that narcissist knows that you love that child or love those children, and that is very close to your heart. So they know that the only way that they can get you or totally hurt and shred your heart is by messing with your kids. So y'all stop judging these people. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You go into it with an open mind and with the understanding. Some of you, I've never been through narcissistic abuse. Well, when you do, come back and let me know. Let us know so that we can support you and dry your tears too. So stop coming on. I ain't never been through it, so I don't agree with that. Nobody care about what you think because you've never been through it. Shut your mouth. Nobody want to hear all that. So I appreciate it. I had to go on my little rampage, my little tangent. So, but I just wanted to support all you guys, especially those that have been enablers and found yourself in this situation. So you guys make sure you tune in tomorrow. I have another one as we start concluding this series. I'll start another one discussing another topic and trying to take you through that. I really want to educate you and build you, because it was many years that this narcissist has tore you down. They have torn you down, spoken lies into your mind. You're living off of the voices of the past. You're living off of things that don't exist anymore. And the exist was that they never existed in the first place. They recreate and evolve as they go. So the person that you thought that you love is not even the person, that they presented to you. And a lot of you guys are trying to come to terms with what has happened, and it's hurting. Your heart is hurting. How did this happen? I'm so tore up. Yes, some of you guys are in the beginning stages. Some of you guys are in the, are beginning to get, starting to feel better. You're starting to feel better about yourself, but everybody's in different phases of recovery. And so I understand it. So make sure there's over 300 some odd videos that I have of it. I didn't even know I had that many, but Go and watch the videos. I guarantee you that those videos will begin to speak to your situation at the time that you need those videos to speak to your situation. And I appreciate all your support, and I thank you guys for hanging in there. A lot of you said that, you've come a long way by watching these videos. Make sure you check out my mentor's videos as well. It's Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper, and she will bring it to you from a perspective of biblical and spiritual perspective. And she is a senior pastor, the presiding prelate, my mentor, my spiritual mother, and she has mentored me through many years and even now through my business. And so I am a product of her work. And so you are welcome to contact me for coaching. Many of you have, and you will see all the information underneath the YouTube video is Dr. Carmen Bryant at Outlook.com. And let me know that you are interested. I will provide you with the fees. I can only coach those that are outside the state of Washington. If you're in the inside of the state of Washington and you have insurance, I will accept insurance inside the state of Washington. If you're looking for counseling, and many of you guys need counseling first before you seek coaching, because coaching is going to maneuver you through situations, going to give you game plays, and the coach knows the game plays and knows the situation once you bring it to them, and they help you together. You guys build strength and build team, and you will maneuver your way through different situations. So those of you, some of you need counseling. Coaching comes next, but counseling comes first, because counseling is going to address the emotional needs, anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, refer you over to med providers to get you stabilized. Then you come up with that plan to how you're going to maneuver it, and then you hire that coach. But if you need coaching, you contact me. If you need counseling, you can go to betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. I do not provide counseling on the BetterHelp site. Some of you guys were looking for me. I'm not on the BetterHelp site as a counselor at this time, but you can, and these counselors are licensed counselors in your state, because every counselor cannot counsel outside of their state. They can only counsel in the state that they're licensed in. So there are counselors that you may not be aware of that can address your needs. When you're looking for these counselors, look for those that specialize in trauma, post-traumatic stress, complex post-traumatic stress, parental alienation, psychological abuse. Use those terms. Don't go into, do you understand narcissist abuse? Is domestic violence. Ask them if they understand domestic violence, and say things like, do you understand Stockholm syndrome? Do you understand when people are gaslighting people? Use that type of definition, and you'll be surprised at how many people understand and how many people have reported that they have had really good experiences with their BetterHelp counselors. And you can go on there. They've got articles on there in reference to narcissism. And so you guys go look. They'll give you a 10% discount for clicking the sponsored link. If you having any financial issues, it's a nominal fee. And if you're having financial issues, let them know. They will assist you with a grant. And so a lot of you said you had a really good experience. So I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for trying that. Make sure you subscribe. Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I am on Facebook, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, and on Instagram. And I also have an additional site, don't know why, Psychological Health Consultants and Services. So you guys make sure you go check out those Facebook pages. I am working on the classes. It's taking me a little while because it's something that's dear to my heart. So I'm taking a lot of time to focus to make sure to give you good classes. So my hopes is to give you the first class free. And then from there, you can judge whether you want to continue with other classes. So I'm still working on that. I don't know if my other website is still up or not. Haven't paid for it because I was transitioning to a new website, but I haven't made the new website active yet. And so please forgive me if you guys are going to the old website. It may be deactivated. I'm not sure, but I'm working on the new website. And so once I can get it up just enough to put information up there, I can continue working. So I'll check on that. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please check out my book. It's, I had to remember I was going to say my own Facebook page. It is Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. You can find it on Barnes & Nobles. You can find it on Amazon. Buy the book, give it as a gift, stocking stuffer during Christmas time, buy some books and take it to the local domestic violence shelter. Some of these women are in the domestic violence shelter and they're teaching them basic things about domestic violence and the power and control wheel. But no one has gotten in depth with what does narcissist abuse look like. When they open up the book, they're going to be able to find their story because it's very unique. In addition to domestic violence, it's very unique how these people think and how they operate. And a lot of these people get healing when someone can validate what they they've been through, because oftentimes they try to tell people what they went through, but most people just don't understand it. And when you read the book, it's like, oh my gosh, somebody understands, because the people that are in that book were real people that went through these situations. And instead of us just talking about what it looks, what narcissistic abuse is, I put it in a format where you can see how it plays out, what they were thinking. And a lot of times it validates you to make you stop feeling crazy, because that's how you were thinking as well. Homicide, suicide, how people were groomed, and from grandmother to mother, how they were groomed, and ended up being handed right over to a narcissist. How the narcissist was grooming the children. Some of them are perverts. Some of them are perverse. And when I say perverse, some of them do have the paraphilia disorder, which goes for voyeurism and pedophilia and things like that. So you can see some of the things that they were doing. It was just horrible. Now, yes, I did write it by providing Christian encouragement, but you take the principles out of this book and you apply it to your life. And many people that don't even believe in God looked in the book and like, there goes my story right there. There goes my story, and I feel better because now I don't feel crazy anymore. So thank you guys so much for supporting me, and you guys go and be great.